o'clock hour, which is my time. We have now approached the 6 o'clock hour, which is my time, but it's 9 o'clock for many of you guys on the East Coast. And I'm about to introduce someone that's dear to all of our hearts. She is a 2-star founding director, a director maker, helping hundreds of families, both national and internationally. She knows all about this business. She's a top income earner from Los Angeles, California. I'd like to introduce you right now, Director Roan.
Thank you so much, Makina. And isn't it great that we have the first 2 people speaking are from the West Coast? Yay, we get to say that, right? It's usually always from the East Coast, no problems there. But Makina, they should know by now that you are a mover and shaker, one of our leaders up and coming. You have teams that are growing across the country. I love the fact that you're a product of the product and you know how to turn around and help your partners to generate income on both sides of the business. So thank you for your servant leadership. How excited are you about what's taking place right this moment, Makina?
Very, very excited. I feel like there's a serious momentum happening right now. People are traveling, okay?
Absolutely. And I was just reading something that talked about so many people in this new phase are thinking about, do we even want to go back into the workforce? And many of us are finding that out as we are reaching out to folks. I want to, across the board, just tell everybody, congratulations. You could tell by week after week, the partners that are coming aboard, the promotions. And what promotions means is that partners are going out there and sharing what we do, the options that we have. Things are coming together. When I say things, I'm talking about skills, confidence, all of that. And, just want to congratulate everybody that's in the trenches and helping folks. Skill levels are going up, beliefs are going up. All of those are signs of what you said, Makina, that momentum is getting ready to burst through in all of our business. Before I get started, so I can make sure I covered something, last week, Director Dawkins gave all of us a challenge, and that was to go out, care enough about someone else to invite them, encourage them to be on the Zoom. So you don't have to do it right this moment, but periodically look through, because you can look under the participants and see if the person that you invited is here, or the people you invited are here. And when they are, just put it in the chat. Like, I did my action item. Very important. Today, we're going to be really talking about perspectives. Everybody, like I said, we're in motion, we're moving, we have new partners that are coming on board, we're helping them. So we're going to talk a little bit about perspectives, and in the course of it, there's going to be some action items, because this isn't rhetorical comments or just everything just is good on paper or something of that nature. But here's what I want you to know. These 3 or 4, well, whatever the topics that we're going to cover, they came from new partners that we've been chatting with. They came from goal builders who are out there helping new partners and just input. And so we decided to go ahead and share some perspectives on a few items. Now, what I'm going to challenge each and every one of you all to do is that depending on your level, you should expect to get different information, aha moments, or something to remind you so that you can move your business forward, and that you make everything that we talk about. Actually, you should do this on everything. Make everything that is shared anywhere, make it very, very personal, as in, what can I do with this information? How is it going to help me in my business and my development? Okay, set the stage. The first perspective I want to talk about is a perspective on prospecting. Prospecting is how we connect to people, our relationships. Everybody that's in this business right now, on this line or not, guess what? We were prospected. Most of us are so happy we made the list. We're so happy that somebody said, you know what? I'm going to see about Tonda C's Way Roan. I'm not going to make any judgments. She may act like she's kind of bougie. She got this highfalutin job. She travels all along. Maybe I won't introduce her to this. I'm thankful that no one had that perspective of me. So, but let's talk about perspective. How many of us have fallen into the trap of, I'm going to say complaining, but you can call it discussing, about how disappointed they are in their prospects? You know, these people don't want to do this and nobody wants to, they are afraid of, all of those things. Or sometimes we have partners that come on and we forget that this is their business, but we start saying things like, they said that when they came on, they wanted to make that extra money to help their children get to college. They said they wanted to relieve all that debt stress that they have. They said, but they won't. Anybody guilty of that? You don't even have to raise your hand. You don't even have to nod. I think we've heard it, we've said it, we've been guilty of it. So let's talk about that for just a moment. There is a philosophy out there that you attract who you are. You've heard it in different ways. The law of the lid. You cannot attract anyone who is has a higher lid factor than you. It says basically that you're going to be able to be attractive to other people, other prospects, if you have certain skill levels. For example, you might say, you know what, I need people in my organization who can articulate, who can communicate very well. Well, can you? Are you good at articulating what it is you want to say? I remember Mr. Bradley, some of you have heard this over and over again. He said that when he first got started, he was so nervous standing up in front of the room. In fact, he was so distracting when he had to speak with the microphone that people didn't even listen to him. They were wondering, will the mic drop, right? He had to overcome that. He had to become a better communicator. Is that where yours is? What about business-minded people? I sure wish I could attract people who don't always have or don't want to stay in an employee mindset. I want to have business people who understand cost and profits and, you know, how this makes good sense and how the compensation plan is so aggressive and rewarding. Well, do you understand it? Can you break it down to someone so that they're at least intrigued enough to say, you know what, Tanda, what you've said so far makes me want to learn more. Do you have enough savvy about your business to be able to do that? What about people who are, you know, I need people who care about people more, who actually like people, who actually like to get out there and demonstrate that. I mean, is that something that you're demonstrating? Do people get that from you when you're interacting, however you're interacting? What about leaders? Gosh, I don't have anybody on my team that's running with me, et cetera, et cetera. You know, I want somebody who sees the vision and can turn around and help other people. Is that you? Does everybody get what this is? It always starts with us. We have got to be attractive enough, because the most powerful thing is when people come to you. Don't you love it when people are referred to you or somebody calls you and you're like, oh, wow, because they've been positively stalking you. You know, that's my favorite word. People are positively stalking you, whether you know it or not. When you walk out the door, what you post on Facebook, how you communicate, all of those kinds of things, they are looking, and they're looking to see who do they believe could help them win. All of that comes to the PD, personal development. We hear it all the time, but do we put it in action? That means, I'm looking at a note that I just wrote here that says when you're doing it with personal development, you might get it from audiobooks, you might get it from webinars, Zooms, YouTube. All of that is good, but at the end of the day, you're going to have to go back to old school. You're going to have to READ. You're going to have to go to a book. You're going to have to get a library. And not just a library, but something that you can look over there and you say, you know what, as a reference point, let me go and pull this out. Because sometimes we get books and we're not quite prepared for it, right? It's above where we are in our business. But here's some things I want you to think about. I want you to write it down, actually. If you want to put it in the chat, that's fine. But remember, this is personal to you. When, W-H-E-N, do you read? When do you read? If somebody is in your calendar or you're in your calendar, what does it say? Here's, I like to keep it super simple. I had a revelation a minute ago, or some minutes ago, is that I had kind of gotten off my rhythm of reading. Yes, no matter how many books I had or planned to read, I had gotten out of the habit. So the thing to get back in it is 15 minutes every single day. Some of us want to jump in and try to read a chapter. Why would you not get started on something you can repeat daily and that is duplicatable? Because when you talk to other people about reading, they say, girl, I don't have time for that. I can barely move. What I had to do was in my calendar, actually carve out when is the 15 minutes. And I had to put on my calendar so I can check it off until I got my rhythm back. Do what you have to do. But if you read 15 minutes every single day in the right books that are addressing where you are in your business right now, do you know how amazing that would be? Some of you who are great at math, you already figured out 7 times 15 is how many minutes? How many minutes in a month? In a month, how many books could you have read that would strengthen you, help you be more attractive and not be limited in how you approach people, which is what prospecting is. If you are brand new, and you have not read, and when I say read, I'm talking old school, highlighted. In GoPro, I need you to stop right now and go get it. Most of us have it in our team pages. It's in the PDF. You can download it, but eventually you're going to get the book, right? If you're in leadership, there are a lot of good books, but developing the leader within, or the 21 irrefutable laws. So when you're talking to other leaders, you all are speaking the same language. When you're talking to your coach, you can help develop you from that place. How many of you have ever tried to talk to someone about anything, doesn't have to be business, and they had no clue? What do you tend to do? Stop talking to them about it. I mean, because why? It's frustrating. So all of us, I want you to write down, when do you read? Where is it in your calendar? Simple things like that will help you be much more attractive. Now, I want everybody to put in the chat box, but more importantly, I want you to write down in your to-do action notebook. But put in the chat box, what is one skill, one trait, one characteristic that you have to develop to support you in being more attractive for the type of prospects that you want in your business? This is very personal to you. So you can I'll take a moment, you can put it in the chat box. What is the one skill, the one trait, the one characteristic that you have to develop where you are right now, that you have to develop to support you in attracting a different caliber of prospects? I'm going to ask Dorian, perhaps, Director Dorian, if you could see some different traits or skills, and if you could read a few of them off. I'm not able to pull that up.
Okay.
Can you do that?
Yeah, I could do that. You want the names, or you just want the?
No, just some of the areas.
Okay. We have inviting. We have some people say qualifying up, communication, leading others, listening, confidence, patience, develop a magnetic personality, listening, being open-minded, time management, consistency.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. You know what the best thing about everything that everybody put in there? There's a book to help you. That's the best thing I can tell you. There is nothing out here that you want to know about that you cannot find it. I would recommend strongly that you're working with your coach, because there's no need to get inundated with all this that's out there And that's where people, and I'm going to say this, we've said this before, just because we say things, read this book or that book, please don't feel compelled or go run out and buy the book. You should be talking with your coach, because based on where you are. Now, if you have the wherewithal and you're buying all these books because you know eventually you're going to get there, that's a different story. But this is progressive. That way you don't get inundated and you get your skill level up. Okay, so that's a perspective on prospecting. Learn to develop in yourself what you want to attract in other people, or what you're looking for. That does not mean you're not going to share this with everyone. Everybody get that? This is not either or. This simply means if some of you are saying, you know what, I'd like to do something a little different. Okay, so the next is a perspective on 3 ways. We know what that is. But the reason that you can hear people say that it's underutilized, because there are so many tangible and intangible outcomes from a 3-way. The more you do them, the more you start to understand, wow, how powerful is that? I think that we don't use them as much or get the most advantage out of it because we don't really understand it and we don't do it enough. First of all, the 3-way almost always is more for the partner. Everybody get that? It's more for the person inside our business. It's for the partner, because it is a coaching, learning tool for partners to, in a non-threatening way, learn more and more and more about your business. The people who are savvy, when they're doing a 3-way, they have their notebook out, because they want to hear what is all the things that, because there can only be a billion of objections and issues that happen in a 3-way with all these new people. Everybody who's done a 3-way and knows this, does everybody understand that there's almost a finite bucket of things that people say or come up on a 3-way? Raise your hand if you know it. But if you don't do very many 3-ways, there's fear happening. Ooh, I don't know what they're going to say. Ooh, if they say this, what would I possibly do? But when you have a 3-way and you have the person that's doing the 3-way, that person's role is to help you understand more about your business. Okay, that's the first thing. And some of you have been with coaches or a person that does a 3-way, and you might even be thinking, I wonder why they keep going on with that person. Why do you think? Just shout it out or put it in the chat box. I can kind of look. Okay, we won't belabor that point. The reason is that person, usually it's your coach or your director, that's a learning, teaching moment. Does everybody get that? Sometimes we know, the directors know this for sure, that the person on the other end of the line is really not a good fit, but they have elevated some issues and thoughts that the person is going to be able to talk with the partner about based on where their growth is. Does that make sense? So that's another intangible that some people don't understand. It definitely eliminates the fear of the unknown. And it also can sometimes be a point for people to learn more. The other thing that is so good about a 3-way, you know what it encourages? And some of you said that. It develops your listening skills, because listening is an active skill. Ooh, I know sometimes, depending on socially, business or whatever, I have to zip it up because I'm waiting to give my response to whatever they're saying. I know where they're going with that. Oh yeah, when they talk about this, I automatically do this. Versus active listening is, what are some of the right questions you should ask? What should you be lifting up and elevating? Because they might say something, but that's not what they really mean. So you're off on this other tangent and it doesn't go as well as you thought. But both parties, a partner that's, listening to the 3-way, and that's for all of us. When I have someone else that's doing my 3-way, I'm taking notes because I'm like, oh, that's a good way to share or clarify that. because that's what a three-way also does. It clarifies for people, depending on what their show was and what their level of understanding about the business is. So the listening part of it and reframing. So did I hear you, or did I understand you to mean blah, blah, blah? Or, so based on what you said, the only, if you had the money right now, you would be in partnership with Dorian. Is that what I'm hearing? Well, yeah. Okay, that's a whole nother way you move the three-way. No, that's not what I meant. Da, 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 da. That's another good piece of information for you to know for the parties on the line. So there's a lot that you want to have. Now then let me dispel something else, or at least a perspective. There is a very strong myth sometimes out there that, oh my goodness, if I can get them on a three-way with Donald Bradley, Orlando Moore, Jane Doe, Billy Bob, it's going to be closed. It's a done deal. Anybody ever heard that or felt that? Of course you have. Usually the three-way is a continuation of the process. Sure, some people are ready right then, and usually it's a person who's already done research, they've been exposed, they know some things, but most people are not going to be a one and make a decision right that second, right? I remember when, back in the day, I was so nervous, but I was like, oh yeah, he's gonna, oh, this is so wonderful. Donald Bradley is doing my three-ways, and so he's on. I'm looking for some hardcore missile approaches and getting him in my business. Do you know that that was not it? He did the edification of Tandasi's way so that the person that was on the call knew, ooh, that's great that you have this person who introduced you to this. He talked about a little bit about, you know, the rapport, finding out some info, finding out what did you like best about what you heard. I said, ooh, he even does the basics. Finding out what that is, da-da-da-da. Finding out if they're, where are you? Are you, sounds like you're ready to, or sounds like you want more info, blah, blah, blah. But basically, it was continuing the process and passing the baton back to me. I said, oh, okay. Now, what that should do for each and every one of you, because each and every one of you are qualified to do a three-way, because a three-way is a validation, giving extra, some more information to people, that you don't have to get on there with phone shaking. Oh, I can't mess this up because my partner is going to be all bent out of shape because they didn't come on board. No, it is a continuation of the process. Not bam, fam, but basically building on. When you're doing a three-way, you're continuing right there to see if interest is still peaked, right? If they're not ready to be a one and sign up right that moment. So if their interest is peaked, what do? We send right from that call, get another show for them, whatever that show is, with an appointment, and we do the follow-up and the follow-up. So a three-way, everybody can release themselves. You should be doing many of them, and you should be skilled at elevating what potential objections or, and you know what I found, and you all can share, it's more about, they're kind of confused. They don't quite understand what it is. So let's elevate that. And don't you love it when people come in and you're starting to work with them and duplicate it, and you start talking about the peaking and all this, and you can say to them, did you feel pressure when Jennifer was sharing this with you? Oh no, perfect. That means that you should feel very comfortable going out with your people, right? So what we do in advance is very helpful. So those are just some of the perspective on three-ways. You should do more of them. You should be learning the person that does the three-way and the person that is the partner that has a prospect on. So it's learning and moving forward. And again, the more three-ways you do, the less likely you are to be surprised. I can't think of, I almost challenge myself sometimes to say, I wonder if anybody's going to say something that makes me say, what? You just don't if you've done it long enough. Okay, so here's what I do want. somebody's to quickly unmute yourself and just share with the group, what have you learned from doing 3 ways?
Hey, Town to Caesar, this is Jerry.
Hello, Jerry.
I learned that it's very, very, very important to listen to what they're saying. Sometimes we get nervous and we know what we want to say and what questions we want to ask, but we get so excited that we don't listen. We just break out with answers to questions, and the answers sometimes sound half-hearted because it just shows that you weren't listening to what they were asking you, because you're overly excited about, you know, being able to answer their questions even though you aren't listening to them, because you already have in your mind, this is great, the travel is great, the income is great, all this is great, how could you not be excited? And you kind of tune out to their questions, because if they say travel, then you want to expound on the travel, which they may have said something about the travel that wasn't necessarily taking a trip, but you know.
Absolutely.
So yeah, listening is very important.
Okay, good, good. Anybody else? I saw some other people's sign lit up for a hot minute.
Hi, this is Skylar. I've learned to take notes when I'm on a three-way call with my sponsor. Plus, even though I'm excited, I mute myself so I won't distract or throw somebody off as well.
Great, great. So the first thing, you know the benefit that you're going to get from learning from that. And I'm glad you brought that up. Of course, we say muting, but you know what, team? Texting the person that's doing the 3-way does no good. Hearing beeping in your ear and all this, what do you want us to do? Talk to them and create a good listening, but look what you're saying and come back. Don't do it. We have plenty of time. Sometimes I think we want to throw spaghetti on the wall. Tell them about this, say this, what about this? We have plenty of time if we are moving through the process. Thank you for that. The next thing I'm going to go to is a perspective on performance. And the reason I was thinking about this is that you can't run away from performance. It's in all areas of our life, from grade school or graduating or job promotions or income levels. Every one of you right there can talk about where performance is critical. Can't run away from it. And one of the biggest drivers of performance is that C word, confidence. That's it. Confidence is the belief in our ability to perform certain tasks. Tasks are things that just have to be done. So there's certain tasks that have to be done in our business if we want to be successful. So we have to believe that we can do it, we can perform it. Confidence says that, I can achieve my goals despite challenges or resistance. Anybody have any challenges or resistance in this business? Of course we do. But confidence says, I'm going to be able to do it. And the people who are high performers, they're not super beings by any means. They tend to do more of a lot of different things. I found 3 very simple, simple things, that they tend to think more about things that give them confidence. Okay. That's how, think about this. All of you all who got through your first launching of your business, when you think about that, that's a confidence booster, right? Because you anticipated how horribly it could go, or what if they didn't show up? What if I didn't, say my part? What? Well, when you went through that, that should give you your confidence. How you nail that presentation at the job. So people who are high performers tend to pull on all of those positives that they've done already. Okay. The other thing they do, what happens is they avoid, I'm going to say the word avoid, things and people that drain their confidence. Things and people that drain their confidence. And that can be anywhere from those negative Neds to cynical Charlie to, you know, I'm going to destroy your dreams, David, whatever it is. You know who they are and why you keep having them in your circle, because they don't serve your purpose. And then the do, D-O. We all know that if you're feeling any kind of way, usually when you do something, put action in it, it always helps. But performers do things that give them confidence. Do being an operative word. Now, I am not a swimmer by any means. Everybody that knows me knows how I play at water. However, when I am in the pool, I have done some things that give me confidence because I did it. I know how to do a little backstroking. I can do a little side, you know, stroking. I know how to hold my breath in a pool. But the only way I know all of that because I did it. So I have confidence. So if we're playing or if you, whatever, I know enough to know what I can and can't do in the ocean. Okay, so I have confidence into how far out in the water that I go. But the only reason I have that is because I do the thing that can give me confidence. So you all know all kinds of things that you could DO that will give you confidence. Unmute yourself, somebody's, and give me some business examples, no matter how small. So sometimes I think we negate small things. Small things build into big things. Give some business examples of no matter how small, what have you done to increase your confidence and therefore your performance in your business?
Take the shot.
Okay, we all think about that, right? I know I had to get over that, and we're looking at basketball, for example, and because we're in playoffs, and it's down to the wire, and there's some people on the court that says, give me the ball, I want it, I'm taking the shot. And there's some of us that, how can I help you take the shot? And some of us are on the bench saying, yay, go take the shot. But yes, take the shot. Anybody else?
I would like to add, just do it consistently, do it as much as possible. I know by me setting like private Zooms, no matter what, on Thursday mornings, it kind of pushes me to make sure I'm constantly introducing people, even if that means I'm doing it the day before. I'm trying to make sure I'm getting somebody in front of me. It'd be 1 or 2 people. So being consistent, I think is very important.
And your confidence gets higher because you said, I know what to do and how to do it. I'm learning as I'm doing the thing. Anyone else has something that, whew, no matter how small.
And also practicing. You know, you can get in your room, in your mirror, and you can practice through it. You know, trying to, you know, figure out, you know, what are they going to say when you're piquing their interest? You know, what are some of the things you think they might say? So then you can start practicing on how you're going to respond. I know for me, practicing privately helps me. You know, then when it's time to do it, when it's the show, you're confident in your words and you've already practiced the objections that you might get.
Mm-hmm. And those are some gems coming from Director Selena Best. And that means that she has been putting them into practice and sharing with her team how to do those duplicatable things. There's something to be said about being thrust into a situation that you're like, okay, I have some experience. I've been doing a few things. I am not a rookie. The good news for everybody here, whether today is your first day in the business, and I know we have some first timers, this is your first time in the business, is that you get to do all of this in a safe environment. Everybody, your sponsor, your coach, your director, the only thing they want is for you to WIN, and they will never let you crash and burn. So that's the kind of confidence that you're going to love. Okay, so.
Can I add something?
Absolutely.
So my perspective, this is Karima, by the way, my perspective switch once, well, because I watched the videos on the app like probably 4 or 5 times each, especially the one with Eileen Ross. And she just said, become a master sharer. So that took the pressure off myself as far as feeling salesy and just saying, I'm sharing information, that's it. So it was almost like a detachment, if you will. Not necessarily attaching me, like having a strong stance, but not attaching like that sales hat to it. More so like, hey, I'm just, I always give people the example, back in the day, if you work part-time at Macy's, you're like, yeah, can you give me an application? Can your manager hire me? It's the same concept, except I have to show you this business. I can't explain this business to you. Everybody knows what Macy's is. Everybody knows they have the different departments, so they get the concept. You don't get the concept with this business unless you see it and it's visual. So I'm just sharing information. So I took that pressure off myself and just said, hey, yeah, I share information for free all the time. That's who I am naturally. I'm always giving advice, sharing information. So that was a game changer for me. And then also what I heard was, if you have the best ice cream in the neighborhood, do you care if anybody gets it or not? You're like, no, because you have the best ice cream in the neighborhood. So it's that same concept where they say have, your posture is strong. You have a quality product. Everybody's not going to get it. My coach, Kat Hines, said, with Amazon, everybody didn't get it in the beginning, but now people wish they got it because Amazon is worth a lot of money per share. So it's the same concept, and not to be going on and on and on, but some people can see the goal and some people just can't, and that's okay. But no means no now, not forever. So that's another aha moment for me. It was no now, but not forever. So just thinking about all those things at one time took the pressure, and that's why I don't mind really reaching out to people.
You said, thanks, Karima. You said a couple of things that some of us have really got to get it ingrained. And once we do, it's amazing. That's it. That is that you are not invested in the outcome. Let me rephrase that. You are not emotionally invested in the outcome of piquing interest, showing, partners coming on, all of that. That takes more people out of the game because they lose sight of what we do. We share information, we clarify for it, we help people make informed decisions. We don't make it for them, none of the above. So that strengthens our posture. Okay, we're coming around the bend. I want you to write this down, please. No, actually, I want you to put it in the chat. So, what do you dread, avoid, hate the most about doing your business? Okay, so you may want to write this down, but I'm gonna say this again. Whatever it is that you fear the most, you hate the most, you don't like to do the most, there are two different ways you're going to solve that. Go find where you can get help. We talked about that, your coach and your books. I'd start with your coach first, and then work on it. And how you work on it, it's got to be in your calendar. You should have dedicated time to that thing that is stopping you from being as successful as you want. What's the point of us doing this if we know we should do such and such? Go ahead and tackle that thing that you don't like the most to do. Tackle it. Now, I'm going to, 4 things and I'm closing up. These are all in activities that if you were to do them, in some variation of it, but if you were to do this concept right here, it would move your business. And the reason is because it involves a calendar, it involves discipline, and it involves productivity. I'm gonna say it again. It involves a calendar, it involves discipline, and it involves productivity. Okay. No particular order is, when do you do your list building and development? Whether you're always on Facebook, you use social media as your primary source, or belly to belly, or whatever it is. When do you do your list building and development? Here's what normally happens. You know, we do the initial building of the list and then it collects dust. I was told that I should be doing this 10 to 15 minutes a day. That should be in my calendar. Something about my list. So it is not a dust collector. It is an activator. It is going to help me be productive. Second one. When do you do your marketing? And by marketing, I mean the things that are going to attract you to other people. When are you going to do your marketing? Is it in your calendar? I mean, clearly one of the easiest ways for some people, and a struggle for those of us who may have to get to that level, social media. It is here, the internet. What do you do to be attractive in your marketing? That's not the only way. You could say that, you know, every Saturday at 2 p.m., I'm out there. No, I'm sorry. I'm going to use that for another example. The next one. But it's what are you doing? What is your marketing plan? You know, that's for your IntelliTravel business and your Planet Marketing. I'm looking, and we've had this discussion, how some people are all over the board with their marketing, who they're trying to track. Again, it's spaghetti against the wall. You know, surely somebody's going to like this and contact me. But you be the driver of what you want your brand and your marketing to be, whatever that looks like. So 3, in your calendar, where does it say you do your prospecting, where you are actually piquing interest? So that means you are reaching people in some form or fashion. And this is the example I was going to give to just show you how open you can be. In your calendar, it may say Saturday at 2 p.m., I go to the gym. Not because I'm going to be, you know, jumping on people and got that business for you, got that business, but it's part of my prospecting to connect with people, to see who I'm, you know, is going to be, might be a good fit, who I need to add to my list, who I may need to work with or want to work with. So you have all kinds of ways that if you sit down and think, when do I do my prospecting? It's very clear. It's marked off because you have business hours. Next, this is hard, and it's not the most important, is what does your follow-up system look like? Show of hands, I'm raising mine. I've been guilty of, oh my gosh, I forgot to get back to Belinda. Oh my gosh, I was supposed to, or oh my gosh, I had planned to reach back out to this person. So what is your follow-up system? Do you do every 5 blue moons you reach out to people? Do you use this method? Whatever it is, what works so you don't leave people behind? And how many of us, again, you can just think this, have contacted people or reached out or done 3 ways when people say, well, yeah, I think I heard about this, but I never heard from them again. Or, oh yeah, we got a lot of laughters on that, right? Because it's easy not to follow up, but it's very easy if you go ahead and choose to put this in your calendar about what is your follow-up method. And some of it is tried and true. Some works better than others. So what I wanted to share with you today was all about perspectives on different areas of our business. Again, if you're brand new, there's no need to be overwhelmed because we're going to help you through that. If you've been doing this for a hot minute, maybe this helps you with any kind of shifting, or more importantly, when you're working with your new partners coming in, do we help them to move past some of the, you know, it's a big deal to buy a business. It's a big deal. And sometimes I think we may forget about that. I'm going to do this. If we've had some amazing directors on the line, I would like to, you know, I'm not going to call your name out and edify you yet unless you say that you want to share something. But if you have anything that has to do, that wants to talk about what we've shared, we would love for, to hear your perspective.
You hit it on the nail, Thunder Caesar.
Okay, thank you, Director Joyner. But again, this was input from people who are actually in the field doing the work. So be encouraged, continue to do the things that you are already doing and things that you're now emboldened to do. And we can roll right into what's really exciting, which is we have so many new partners who saw the vision, and the partners that went out there, in spite of challenges and resistance, had the belief to share the business. So directors, everybody's a director in the making. Goal builders, let's welcome our new partners and any promotions.
I'd like to welcome, my name is John Riley. I would like to welcome two new partners, one here in Atlanta, Sharante Dowell, and one up in Virginia, Miss Sherry Wilson.
Outstanding. Welcome to the team. Great, great, great.
Great evening, Pete. Great
Okay,
evening,
good.
Pete, Director Roan. I'm very excited to welcome to the team Ms. Nashay Williams Prince out of St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands, who was personally sponsored by Dr. Audria Thomas, and also personally sponsored by Dr. Audria Thomas, Jonita Duvernay out of St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands. And I have two more individuals that were personally sponsored by OC and Brent Gums. Personally sponsored was Shalia Molinar Weber out of St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands, and Suwana Smith out of St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands. Again, both personally sponsored by OSEA and Brent Gums.
Outstanding as well. And congratulations, Audria Thomas, on your first and second new partners. You dropped your head like all of us do and moved forward with what you were learning. And we see you, Mr. and Mrs. Gums, sharing the business. So congratulations. We have some more.
Hi, Director Roan. This is Tanya Gorham. I would like to welcome Ms. Adrienne Smith to the team. She was sponsored by Ms. Dion Gano, and this is her first partner.
Outstanding, outstanding. And congratulations, Ms. Gorham, to be able to introduce your partners in your organization as the goal builder.
Thank you.
Good evening, Director Roan. This is Kat Hines out of Cleveland, Ohio. I am excited to welcome to the team Ms. Luciana Adams, better known as Lucy, out of Cleveland, Ohio. She was personally sponsored by Tony Gale Travis. That promoted Ms. Tony Gale to bronze builder. So congratulations to Tony Gale. And I would like to welcome to the team Ms. Shamika Gooding from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, personally sponsored by Karima Abdul Salam, and that promoted Karima to silver builder. So I am excited to welcome them and congratulate both of those ladies.
All right, outstanding. We love promotions because of what it represents. So thanks. Welcome to the team, all of our new partners from these two individuals. And I know we have some more. I'm looking at them.
Hi, I have another business partner that came on board a couple of days ago on our team. Her name is Ariana Jackson for Riverside, California, and she was sponsored by my newest partner, Evia Shaw, that just came in like about a little bit over a week ago.
I love it. The duplication process in effect. Great job, great job.
Hello, everyone.
Director Roan.
I happen to know Michelle Simpson's voice, so I'm going to go straight there and then the next person that was speaking.
All right, thank you. I was going to honor and prefer, but this is Michelle Simpson out of Williamsburg, Virginia. And I would like you all to please help me welcome to our team, Miss Shanice Coleman out of Calvert County in Prince Frederick, Maryland. And she
Okay,
was personally sponsored by myself.
congratulations. Welcome to the team, Shanice.
Good evening, Director Roan. This is Dawn Smith, and I'd like to welcome Jennifer Johnson out of Monroe, Georgia. She is sponsored by Gwen Roan Johnson.
Absolutely. Congratulations.
Hello, this is Director Sandy Myricks out of Los Angeles. It gives me great pleasure to introduce Katrina Austin out of the Dallas-Fort Worth area, personally sponsored by Ms. Dee Dee Grayson.
Wonderful. Out of that Oklahoma market. Wonderful. Anyone else? Great. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have three of our announcements that we have been saying over and over. Saturday is, of course, First Saturday. You definitely want you and your partners, and also any of the folks that have been exposed to the business and they are twos, they're very much interested, and we want to invite them to hear about the culture. But First Saturday is our locker room where we talk about what makes us the amazing company that we are. So you'll find that and register. I'm gonna recommend, most of us will repost it again, but everybody pull down the first Saturday, the second Saturday, and the third Saturday, so you always have it and you're not fumbling about how to register. And then Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard, our director, Shedrick White, hosts a leadership call that is pretty amazing. And I know last week we talked about a number of things, but we also had our IntelliTravel ambassadors on who gave a different perspective about some things you can do in your business that was very, very helpful. But every Saturday you can Zoom in. And if not, it's always posted on our team page for you to do a follow-up at your convenience. And then last but not least, even just yesterday, brand new partners came in and were buying those, registering for convention. And you just heard, we had somebody that came in out of the Dallas-Fort Worth market. So please, please make sure that we continue to share the value and the importance of us all being there at convention. All right. Anything else? Anything that's pressing before we, wow, I went quite a bit long, didn't I? Okay, maybe they'll take me off the rotation. All right. Anybody have any comments, questions, or anything like that? I will say this. We all the directors, when we're talking, and the Gold Build, we're talking about the team, you all are some bad individuals, and we are so pleased and proud to be in partnership with you all, and can't wait for everybody to get what they're planning to get out of this business. All right, then. Have a blessed evening.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good
Night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.